How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast.
I'm in the wrong place, aren't I?
Oh yeah, you are in the wrong place.
I'm in the wrong place as well.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong place too.
Well, what's going on?
No,
is that what you lot are worried about? Not the who was that? Who was unprofessional just now? Who was playing music in the background?
Did someone? Well, someone's playing music.
Well, he's working or what's going on?
I was concentrating on the fact I wasn't in the right place. It really annoyed me.
Well, your ears have to still work at the same time. What do you mean? You shut your ears off to focus?
No, I've got no. I can only focus on one thing. I can't multitask.
And it is what it is. We move. But people, apologies for the introduction, but we are live, people. So hit the like button first and foremost. It's Sunday night. We've won away at Brentford, clean sheet as well, which we're going to get into. And to be honest, when you look at all the other results in and around us, they have pretty much gone our way. I think we could have done with a United loss, but James reminded me just before the stream that it gives Ten Hag a few more weeks to, secure his role as manager of United. So we will talk. Big up Jordan, big up Lee, big up James as always, and big up everyone in the chat. Love for the love. We're going to do comments of the day at the end of the show. So make sure you leave your comments in the comment section, and we're going to get super chats in halfway through the show. I'll separate a segment similar to what I do on Big Six. I'll separate a segment for the super chats, and we'll get into them and we'll answer your questions and whatnot. And obviously, it's not just super chats I'll take as well. I'll look at the chat and see what. Does anyone see that thumbs up?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Where did that come from?
What's happened?
Did you see? Nah, what's going on?
Hold on.
I missed it. What happened?
Bro, I don't even want to say it no more because me and James might be going mad, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. I actually want to ask the chat, did they see a thumbs up as well? But yeah,
wait, you saw like a little bubble with a thumbs up on Jordan's screen?
Yeah, right next to his face.
Did you do that, Jordan?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, people said it in the chat. Someone said, yes. Something is going on, people. I don't know what's going on, but let's talk.
I haven't seen that in my life.
Let's talk football. 1-0 win away at Brentford. Obviously, the headline is Havertz gets us the winner. And I'm sure we're going to talk about Havertz too. But I want to get the overall thoughts about the game first and foremost before we delve into individuals and obviously the big, pretty much last-minute winner. I was actually there, so I was about to pass it over to Lee, who was also there. Unusually, I haven't spoken to James about it yet, or Jordan, but Jordan tends to start with the negative. So let me go over to James first. And see,
I've got a few as well, so it's better you go James first.
The latter part of
that's fair.
You just bring back Jordan.
Right. That's fine. I'm feeling very positive, people. What a weekend. I couldn't have asked for a better set of results. Genuinely, maybe a Villa Tottenham draw, but I'm never going to complain about Tottenham losing. We're now 4 points ahead of them. It wasn't that long ago that we were wondering if we could even keep up. It's funny how things change in football. Top of the league. We weren't great. We were actually pretty terrible. And look, it's all context, right? What do we mean by terrible? Lacking creativity. That's been a story of our season. I don't think we've ever lacked quite that much in a game. I think that is credit to Brentford, who defended brilliantly. But we defended brilliantly as well. We made sure that our defense and our core just ensured that we were always in the game. There were errors. They were the only errors that led to Brentford chances. Otherwise, they didn't do anything. But we kept ourselves in the game. And I really wish you'd been on this watch-along, Turkish. I know you had a great time at Brentford. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But I would have loved to have known your thoughts at the point at which all of us kind of unanimously agreed that with Odegaard struggling around the 70th minute, we said it was a game for Havertz. And it's all that you can all go watch it, people. And the only reason for it was we kept hitting the back post to the point where people weren't even making the runs. Marseille played a great ball in. Saka, Jesus, Odegaard all left it. Saka did another one. Martinelli left it. And I just thought, if this is the only way we look like we're kind of getting anywhere near their goal, then get Havertz. At least he attacks that space. Whether he does much with it is another question. But he did, and he scored. And it's the third time I'm saying it now, maybe fourth from the watch long full time and fan cam. But if ever I forgive a terrible performance, terrible's going too far. If ever I forgive a subpar performance for sure, it's when City and Liverpool have just dropped points and you need to capitalise on the back of an international break. So I'm very happy. Obviously, I hope we build on it because I don't think it's sustainable to play football with quite that little invention. But it was great. And what is sustainable is the way we're defending. That's going to keep us in games and earn us points. So I think lots of positives in terms of the result and the digging it out and finding a way, more so than actually anything to do with the football we're playing. But this time I don't care. We talked about it a lot in previous podcasts, but for this one, I really don't care.
You know, if I was on that watch along and I heard someone say we need to bring on Havertz, I definitely would have had a clip there because I would have said something that goes completely against what would have happened, what we all know happened at the end. So there, because the friends that I went with, none of us even thought about the bench. We was all kind of bored in a sense. It wasn't the most exciting game, and Arsenal weren't really creating chances. It's not the first time this season, but like I said, you know, I put my hands up last week. I said, if this is what wins the league, it doesn't have to be exciting. I don't give a shit. But we nearly dropped points. Obviously, it took a last-minute winner. But until that, you know what I actually thought? I think I said it in my fan cam or the player ratings. Around the 85th minute, or maybe the 82nd minute, because the 85th minute is when Eddie thought he was Henry and tried that finish. Around the 82nd minute, I said to myself, what do we think is going to happen if our first two options off the bench are Havertz and Eddie Nketiah? That's what I thought to myself. I thought nothing's changed. They've come on. Eddie ran around a bit, which is the usual kind of, you know, praise that he gets. Nothing was really sticking. And then the one opportunity that he had, which was like a 3-on-1 or a 4-on-2, he chose the wrong option. And I don't mind a striker shooting. Sometimes it's going to be the wrong option, but a striker like him, he's not a false nine. He's not someone that brings in other players. He's a striker that's pretty much in it for himself. I don't mind him shooting. It's just at least do better than what, you know, it turned out to be. And after that, I thought to myself, all right, this is done. It's going to be a draw. You know, it's frustrating. The chemistry or fluidity issues I talked about is costing us today. But I was trying to look on the brighter side of things and say, well, you know, City and Liverpool also drew. So, you know, Brentford away is not the easiest place to go. Will City and Liverpool both be? These are the things I started thinking. Then Havertz pops up. But like I said, we're going to go into Havertz soon. So I want to kind of move it on to maybe Lee, because I didn't really speak to you about the game much either, even though
you freezing to death when I like, you know, it's so cold here, isn't it? Like, you know. But I'm going to have to say, before the game, once I see the draw at Liverpool and the Man City game, I actually coming down at the game going, I don't care if it's the most boringest 1-0 win ever, as long as we win the game. And then when you're watching the game, thinking, oh, we're crap. What's going on here? Something's wrong at the Arsenal. I don't know what's going wrong here, like, you know. And then when you get the 1-0 win, you go, yeah, I'll take that, you know. So, but it was really, really a tough watch. I have to say that, lot. But listen, the job was to win that game. And I really look on, I was talking to my mate this morning about it, and we were saying, you know, there's something not quite right at Arsenal. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it. That we're not playing like we was last season. It's not as enjoyable this last season and everything. But we're top of the league. And I can't put my finger on what it ain't quite right. But what is right is our defending. We defended really, really well yesterday, like, you know. And well done, Aaron Ramsdale, for keeping the clean sheet. Well done, Aaron. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it was all about. Clean sheet. You know what I mean? But listen, we rode our luck a little bit. You know, Declan Rice. I tell you what, when it comes to Secret Santa, I reckon Aaron's going to have to put in a double bubble because, and hopefully get it to Declan Rice, because I actually didn't really appreciate what he done there when he went when he knocked that ball off the line. But when you actually watch it on TV and Match of the Day, his reactions there were unbelievable to get back. You know, a lot of players would have just sat there and watched it and gone, oh my God, what, you know, and all that. But he was switched on and got back. And, you know, listen, that would have been a decisive moment in the game. And I think Declan Rice was outstanding. I was talking to my mate again this morning, I just got so much admiration for Declan Rice. That performance yesterday, I think, you know, it's all right when I know it sounds silly, yeah, he's there for the big games of Man United, Man Cities and all that. But I do believe these games when You've got to self-motivate a little bit, make sure you're at the top of your game. He was at the top of his game again yesterday. I thought he was fantastic. I really do. I thought that Gabriel, by the way, was brilliant as well yesterday. Really, really well. Shinchenko. I thought we defended really, really well, if I'll be honest. And I'm going to have to say it. Big ups to Mikel Arteta for the decisions on the bench. You know what I mean? The Eddie one certainly didn't work, but the Kai Havertz one did. You know, it was a game changer. I agree with what James was saying. I think that there was some decent crosses going in. We just needed someone on the end of it. And I will say this: I watched a bit of football today. I watched, Spurs. Watched Spurs again today. I love it. They're on a roll, them boys. They're on a roll. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, I watched Kulusevski today. Like, good player, had a very, very good game, but he's up against one defender all game. When I watch Saka, there's two on him. It'd be really interesting in a couple of weeks when we play Villa at Villa. Are they going to be like that with Saka? I bet they don't. I bet they double up on him. They double up on him. They double up on him. Double up on Martinelli yesterday. But in the end, Saka, who I thought didn't have a great game yesterday, found a way with that cross, And
I do think part of that is because of how slow we kind of play now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Tottenham are very fast in the transition. So when Kulusevski's picking it up, he's getting it one-on-one, and Saka kind of has to wait for it. Even was it yesterday? Yeah, even yesterday, Saka wanted the ball so many times, and then the ball wouldn't come, and you could see he was kind of frustrated, and then they'd have to make it.
I think there's something in that, as everybody says, oh, we're controlling the game. You have a look at today's game with that Aston Villa Spurs game. No one's really got control of the game, so I'll take that on board that we have got that. But I just think at the end of it, I never thought we was going to lose that game yesterday. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Even when we was playing it, I just felt it was going to be a 0-0 draw, or we was going to get something. And fella in front of me said a good point. He said, if we defend well, we've got 4 or 5 players now. One of them's just got to do a bit of quality, and we'll win the game. And that's exactly what happened. I thought it was a quality goal, quality bit of play from Saka, and Kyle got on the end of it, like as I predicted earlier on in the WhatsApp group. Just want to mention that, when others doubted, the judge didn't.
Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Special mention to Lee, who before the game said, "What do you say? You feel like it's going to be a Havertz?"
I just feel that Havertz is going to deliver today. Like I don't know why.
To be fair, you said that ahead of like 3 or 4 games before. Yeah. So like,
shut up, John. Give a man a bit of credit. What you're basically saying is a broken clock's right twice. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. If you say it 8 times,
you throw enough shit at a wall.
Channel 4 in you, that is. I tell you. The talk sport in you, that is. You're out of order.
Just being honest. Oh man,
Jordan, I think it's about time you come in on the debate. To be honest,
yeah, I think it is because I'm hearing. Go on.
Let's listen. We're 13 minutes in, Jordan, so it's very early. So James.
Be nice first.
James and Lee have both made good points. Rice has been brought up. Havertz's winner has been brought up. I think rather than go into the negative circle. Back
all right,
to the
fair.
Let's bring that, and then we talk about, because I've also mentioned it was a boring game, and I think you're going to mention things along those lines too. But
I've got more than that. But yeah, you're right. I'll start with the positives. First of all, I've got the same lamp, James. I've got the exact same lamp.
It's great. It's a soul lamp.
Yeah.
It's actually my girlfriend's, but I love it. It's what I've turned it on.
It's a what lamp?
Salt lamp.
It's a his and hers lamp. That's what it is. I don't know who's, I don't know who's hers, but there you go.
Not in our daily. Not in our day, mate.
Not in our day. We were giving each other lamps, wasn't we?
So
a lamp, but I'll tell you what, not with a light on it. I'll tell you that. How football's changed.
Oh, dear. Okay, so positives. That's a big win. Away at Brentford, I don't care, who you are. To win at Brentford is a big 3 points. I think it was a deserved win. We deserved to win the match. So it wasn't like a fluky win or a lucky win. I think that the better side won. If it had petered out to be a 0-0 draw, even a point away at Brentford is not the worst. It's not a bad result, but to win it and to win it late, like we do often, is important. No dirty sheets out here. You know me. I like my clean sheets. No dirty sheets. against a team that do score goals at home. And another positive is that it's another away win. We seem to be really potent away from home in terms of racking up those results. So capitalizing on the fact that City and Liverpool both drop points. And as we saw subsequently today, Tottenham, and then also yesterday, Chelsea. I know Chelsea not really our rivals, but of all the big clubs, I think only United got maximum points. So they're the positives for me. I think we're going to get into Kai Havertz in a bit more detail later on, right? So I've got some thoughts on Kai Havertz and Ramsdale, so I'll save my thoughts for that. Go into it. All right, good.
3 minutes.
But hold on, that was remarkably positive. I'm sure you have concerns, but I mean, I agree with all that. You know, a clean sheet, a win away from home. Aren't you feeling good, Jordan?
I know, top of the league, I'm feeling great, but let's keep it real now. Good. Yeah. So first of all, let's start with Kai Havertz.
The dark side, come on, the dark side.
No, let's just all this nicely chat. Let's just like, you lot are just so nice. It's like, come on, man. Let's just keep it 100. I think for Kai Havertz to get the winner, first of all, is big. And I think it's big because when you have a signing, you want them to have a moment. So like Jorginho had his moment at Villa Park, right? That was like when the Arsenal fan base really like, okay, you had your moment, you're one of us. Rice had his moment at Man United this season. A moment where, yeah, we love you, but now we really love you. And it felt like this was Kai Havertz's moment. There was no sympathy handing out a penalty. Although, I don't know if you guys saw the Man United game today. Rashford got given a penalty by Bruno Fernandes and he scored it. And a bit like Havertz, he looked really, really embarrassed. I'm not sure it's a good thing anymore when you're just kind of gifted charity penalties. You've got to earn penalties. And I don't think Kai Havertz on that day and Rashford today earned it. Anyway, which made me think back to Kai Havertz and the Bournemouth game. But
I haven't seen Rashford's moment, but how did Rashford celebrate?
Similar, he didn't really celebrate. I think they kind of had to force him to go to the United fans to kind of celebrate and enjoy it. He just looked very, very sheepish and quite embarrassed. Because I think he knew, because Fernandes is their taker, and they gave him the penalty kick. And I just think it's a little bit.
I mentioned the contrast in celebrations in my fan cam as well, because this one Havertz really
celebrated it, didn't he? Yeah, because he'd earned it. He'd earned it. So on Kai Havertz, he got his moment. I'm really glad that he got his moment because I think he needed it, and I think it's important for him to feel like he's done something. He's contributed to our season. That's a big 3 points. But he wasn't good. I hear a lot of people saying that he was good. He was not good. Let's not pretend like he played well. He didn't play well. I don't think he was crap, but he didn't play well. And it reminded me of a Brentford game 2 years ago, where Vieira scored a rocket. He scored a really good goal. I think he beat him 3-0. And everyone was saying the same thing. Vieira was really good. That day, no, he wasn't good. He scored a brilliant goal, but he wasn't good. He wasn't good that day. He was not good, but the goal masked. The goal made people think he was good, but for me, he wasn't good. But the point I'm making is that I think whilst I'm really happy that he got the goal, got his goal, got the winner for us, I've also seen a lot of the blogs and a lot of the fan cams, people saying he was good. He was not good. And I just fear we are lowering the bar for Kai Havertz. Sorry?
What does not good mean? Because I said on my fan cam, if you made a highlight reel of everything he did in that game, the best thing is the goal. But he came on, his first touch, he kind of took it with the inside of his boot and got himself past the back line. Actually, first time I saw a midfielder break forward like that. He was very neat in everything he did. Couple little layoffs into Zinchenko's, and he got himself in a bit of a pickle. He got there to help him play. I know they're small things, but it was good. Like it was doing what a midfield supporting act is meant to do, and then he pops up with the goal. I don't think I could have asked for any more in 20 minutes.
But he's not. Go on. Sorry, go on.
Well, like I'm more with you on this, but I just want to ask you, you said he wasn't good, yeah? So if someone's good, what's their rating out of 10? Just so I understand that puts it in.
If somebody's good, I would give them a 5 or 6.
Okay.
5 or 6. For me, he was a 5, but the goal brings it up to a 6 or even a 7 because the goal's a big goal. I think take the goal away.
That means
he was average.
Good, then that means
all right. Okay, I'll rephrase. You're right. Yeah. He was average. He was average.
100%.
But I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. That like the team was struggling. He came on. I think he actually did more than Ødegaard and Trossard, to be honest, even just on the ball, just in terms of like keeping it neat, right passes, giving it quickly. One of the things we were getting wrong, and Ødegaard was frustrating me all game with this, underhit passes, like really undercooked, slow, rolling, taking ages. At least Havertz just did it. Got it, played it, got it, played it, got it, played it, and then popped up with the goal. I agree with you. He didn't come on and like run past 3 men, cause complete havoc, and suddenly turn the game on its head. But what he did do was play at a level that I least expected the others in midfield to get to. Right, Rice went above and beyond. He does every game. But then you're right. It was a 5 or 6. Then he has the goal, and you're going fair play. That's a big impact.
I just think, I mean, the comments are going crazy and I'm being super harsh. I just think to myself, this is meant to be a German international. It's a £65 million signing. It's not. He hasn't got an excuse. Not that I give it to people anyway, but there's no excuse of it's his first year in the Premier League. What are we doing here? With a couple of nice, neat layoffs, couple of nice touches. Really? Is that what we're really going to be? I'm not going to lower my standards. No,
I think it's very harsh.
I'm not going to lower my standards just because I want to be nice to him.
I don't. I think Jordan's got a very good eye. Lee, earlier you said, yeah, and I think this is more wording than it is, but then the wording here, for me, Havertz didn't change the game. Havertz decided the game with that moment. Like, he didn't change the game. He didn't come on and we start creating chances. Like he didn't come on and really make that much of an impact. And when you bring an attacking midfielder on 65 million, you expect something. Even we expected from Vieira in his first season from Portugal after 6 months at Porto that we expect to see something coming off the bench. So Havertz won us the game and he deserves the praise. Where I not disagree with Jordan, because I don't know how Jordan feels about this, but I've given up on Havertz actually having an impact on the game on the ball per se. But if he can come off the bench and be in the box and get goals like this, if he can rack up 10, 15 in all competition, go at the end of things off the bench, then you know what, I'll take it. But on the ball,
even that's to let off the hook a little bit, because he's meant to be an accomplished international midfielder. I just feel like we're lowering the bar. Someone in the chat's asked, okay, so who was good? And let's be very, very clear. I'm not saying that. I thought Trossard was average as well. I thought Ødegaard was not very good. I think he was industrious. He worked hard. Exactly. So I'm not trying to say that Havertz was worse than anybody else. We're chatting about Havertz here in particular, and I just think that the fan base is we're trying to go for we're trying to win a title here. We're not going for top 4 or European football. We're going for a title. And if we're saying that was a good performance, goal aside, I think we're in trouble. So I'm just saying it because I think that if we praise that performance, if we praise that performance, then we're not going to win the title this year. That can't be the bar.
It's all in moderation. Like, if you ask me to pick my 11 for Lons at home and Wolves next week, no, Havertz isn't in those starting 11s because, like you, I need to see a lot more. But I think where I think it's harsh is to sort of say £65 million player, I expect more. The game, Arsenal had no rhythm in that game. They had no fluidity. There was nothing. We couldn't get through. So at the very least, come in, keep it moving, keep it ticking. And when that ball is whipped into the box, get on the end of it. And he did that. Like,
he did.
I don't really know what more I would have expected him to do when Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Ødegaard, Trossard were all on that pitch and for 70 minutes didn't produce.
So let me ask you, James, if he didn't score the winner, what would you give him as a rating?
Hand on heart, a 6.
A 6?
Yeah, fine,
but
good.
When he come on, I don't know what game you're watching, like, or am I watching a different game? Because when he come on, I thought Arsenal dominated from that.
I
dominated the whole game. We dominated the whole game.
No, we wasn't. I'm talking about, like, they couldn't even get in our half. You know what I mean? Like, in that last 10 minutes, we really did push up. We really did push.
No, but hang on, Lee. Sorry, Lee, but hang on. That last 10 minutes, they were settling for a point. They were banking in deliberately. They were settling for a point.
Listen, they set out for a point in the first place, and if they could pick up some bits and pieces, they'd have gone for that. I thought that they was defensively are very, very sound and very hard to break down. But listen, you're putting a player on with 10 minutes to go. What do you expect him to do? Score a hat-trick? I'm sorry.
No.
You know, I mean, he comes on and he does what he done. What he done was the first touch that he done, it nearly gets a goal. It unsettles him a little bit. I think he made runs into certain areas which we wasn't doing. He ran into certain areas that meant that Zinchenko could get out wide a little bit better, which I didn't think that we was doing when Martinelli was on there. I thought Trossard got on the ball a little bit more on in those last 10, 15 minutes. I also have to say I thought that the likes of Martinelli and particularly Jesus were a little bit leggy, if I'll be really honest. But you're 0-0. You know, you got 10 minutes to go. You send on a man to get you. You know, I'm pretty sure his instruction would be try and win us the game, and that's what he did. I think
he did. But what my final point on this would be that in another game he might not get the goal. But what I would like him to do as a plan B to that, if you can't get the winner, then can you create something? Can you set up some chances? And he didn't do that. He didn't do that.
But players didn't do that for 70 minutes, Jordan. Like players that.
That's what I was going to say.
We can chat about Trossard.
He had 90 minutes to do that and didn't do it.
I agree. You know, but we're chatting about Havertz. I agree. We can chat about Jesus. We can chat about Jesus right now.
Talk about Jesus had 78 minutes. Martinelli had as much time as what he did. Odegaard had all the time.
Odegaard was the most.
It took Saka 90 to 89 minutes before he created the chance.
I agree.
It took 10 minutes for Havertz to come on and do something. I'm sorry, I don't know how you can.
No. You're making out like I'm trying to say Havertz was significantly worse than everybody else. They were all average to poor.
What about when Eddie come on? Look at when Eddie come on. You know what I mean? That was as poor as a substitution I've ever seen.
I agree, but I agree. I'm with you, Lee. But my point is, I know most people don't do this, but I do. If I'm spending a lot of money for a striker who's an international, I expect something from that international. He's not a kid, and he's not his first year. He's not a project player. He's an established international player. I've praised the goal, but I'm saying he performed.
That's it, job done.
No, but I'm just saying his performance wasn't good. Just because you score a goal doesn't mean you played well. There's two different things.
You keep jumping between it wasn't good, it was good, but it wasn't amazing. Like I'm confused.
He was average.
I don't think you lot are disagreeing with each other. I just think I agree. You know what the difference? Like, I'm more with Jordan because that's how we tend to see things. Me and Jordan, we're probably the more pessimistic of the four of us here. You two are the more optimistic, and in general, that's how we view things, not just this situation here. But you're not saying. Like, if I was to ask Lee and James, like, James, you said 6, but Lee, yours would be around 5, 6 without the goal for Havertz, right? Jordan said 5, so we all agree the goal is what ramped it up.
He scored. So I don't know why you're having that conversation. It's a 7 out of 10. That's it.
It's the reaction.
But James said something. James made a key point. James made a point about that we won the game 1-0, and overall as a team we weren't good. It's not sustainable. So on this occasion, it worked fine. But over 38 games, you can't play that poorly individually and collectively and win games.
We've got to up our game. That's why I said earlier on, something's not quite right, Arsenal. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but we're top of the league. But I don't know what it is.
I prefer this use of Havertz, though. If I'm to end on a positive on this one, is that like his best impacts have come from the bench. He came on against Chelsea when we were 2-0 down. And even though, again, that was a funny one, wasn't it? Because Jamie Carragher did a whole Monday Night Football segment on how using him up front changed the game. I never actually felt that. But you know what? He got into areas that at least gave us a different dimension. Against City, we were suddenly running the channels better when he went up top. And then again in this game, he came on and he made a difference. So he seems to be doing something off the bench just in terms of his movements and his knowing where to be. And we've talked about that. That is a skill. It is a skill, knowing your movement, where to be, like what to get on the end of and stuff like that. He's not doing it when he starts games, but I much prefer this use of him right now where we're not settled as a midfield. We've tried Trossard, we've tried Havertz, we've tried Vieira, we've tried Rice in the 8. We're not settled there. And Havertz, with the pressure on him, the price tag, everything, I prefer this use of him because he's actually having an impact.
James,
I agree with that.
On there. Sorry, spot on there. Like, no one has nailed this position in the team, whether it be Havertz. Trossard was like He was as poor as I've ever seen him play like yesterday. Like, you know, in that role, when he went out wide, he looked a lot better. No one's nailed it like Granit Xhaka. One thing I will say on Havertz now, if he does not go on after this on Wednesday and produce, I don't know if he can, because that must give him all the confidence in the world after that. Like, you know, he's got the crowd right behind him, the fans right behind him. He's got a manager that backs him more than what any. Yeah, well, you know, I don't know what he's doing to get that back in, like, you know what I mean? You know, I mean,
man did the whole.
Well, I don't know what he's doing. Like, you know,
what do we think about that, guys? What do we make of that?
I thought, you know, going well overboard. For me, he's getting all the praise from the fans. The fans were going mad. It was fantastic in that away section, singing that song and all that. Like, everybody's doing it and all that. I don't think there's any need whatsoever for Arteta to go up there and do what he's done. I think.
What do you mean? What, they're making it about Havertz and all that?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm sorry.
But there's a difference between needless and actually like a negative thing. Do you think it was?
I don't think it was negative. I just think it was.
Right.
I just don't think it was. I just thought, I'm not sure about that. You know what I mean? There's been fantastic performances from other players during the season. You know, for me, if you want to do that. Look, I'll tell you what, if you was to chuck any player in front today and say, right, you deserve all the credit, it was Declan Rice. But he doesn't have to do that with Declan Rice because he's fulfilling his duties and everything like that. Don't make me out to be a mug, Mikel, like, you know what I mean? Like, and try and tell me that this player is being sensational and everything like that. One like that. That's what it seems to me like. A little
but
bit.
Can I jump in there, right? I think Mikel's going through a little bit of a villain arc, and I don't mean that quite literally. Let me land people. With his outburst at the PGMOL, which we've discussed, and I think we've all kind of agreed timing was a bit off, but whatever. With the way he answered some of the questions around Ramsdale and saying the team was brilliant, and then the showing of Havertz to the fans, I think Mikel is doing the equivalent of I'm using this finger, not the other one, but basically, you know. Can everyone just leave me alone? Because we're top of the league and I'm sick of you all. And what I mean by that is, like, not literally, he loves the fans. And I know, I'm sure he appreciates outside thought, whatever. But I think there's this sense of like, yes, I spent £65 million. I know he's not been that good, but he will be. Leave me alone. Yes, I signed another goalkeeper. My decision. Get over it. Like, yes, we've had decisions go against us and I'm going to complain about them. I don't care if you find me. Like, I think he's going through a little bit of a, can you stop all policing everything I say and everything I do? Because I led us on a title charge and now we're top of the league again. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve criticism for these things. The way I'm saying that is not in defense of him. I'm just trying to explain that I think he is going through that kind of emotion right now of like, can you get off my back, please?
That's a good way to look at it.
And I'm now thinking maybe
could be, yeah.
Entering that.
Roscoe's got quote, I know what I'm doing, that type of
yeah, I think he is.
He has been going saying, like, James, in the last few weeks, Mikel, and like, you know, listen, I praised him yesterday. I thought he was fantastic with the decisions that he made and all that. Like, but he's been turning around and saying, "Oh, like, Havertz has been playing really, really well. He's doing this and doing that." You know what I mean? Like, don't kid a kidder. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and for that yesterday, listen, people saying, "Oh, he done that for his confidence and all that." He doesn't need that as a professional. That was highlighting that for me that he ain't been doing well. You know what I mean? The fans were giving him all the you know, the love and everything like that. You know, feed off of that. You know what I mean? Don't like make it.
It was cringe. It was cringe.
I'll tell you something, yeah. Lee, when you say he needs to kick on from this, listen, he does need to kick on from this because I don't
listen, if we can't kick on from that, a last minute winner, the fact, like, you know, I have to say this, you know, being in that away end yesterday, it was unbelievable singing that song, like, you know what I mean? Like, now it means generally the song meant something now because Kai Havertz scores again. He only scored once and they were singing it. Now he had scored again, you know what I mean? Like, so it makes the song relevant. But it was fantastic in there, like that. Everybody going mad now, you know what I mean? For a player to just, and they was not doing it. It was the last 10 minutes of that game, boys. They was just consistently singing it. That gives you all the confidence you need to go into the next game. the fans love him. I thought, it was great timing, one for the goal and where it was, but also, he done an interview at the beginning of this week saying about things and all that, so it's perfect timing. And he now must go on, and he can't wait until Wednesday's game. And for me, he starts on Wednesday now, like whatever. I don't care who he plays if he starts. You know what I mean? And hopefully, it works for him. I thought that was a magnificent thing for him yesterday. Confidence word.
Does Ramsdale start on Wednesday?
Kept a clean sheet, Turkish.
Isn't there more to the story?
Listen, I'm going to say that for I'm counting up that first half. I'm thinking, my God, you know what I mean? I couldn't believe how bad he was. If I'll be honest, you know what I mean? I've gone out in my garden and thrown the ball 50 times against the wall. You know what I mean? I ain't even a goalkeeper. I couldn't do what he done. Throw it.
That was mad.
How did that happen? How could he do that? You know what I mean? It's incredible. Incredible. One thing I will give him credit for is, and I think something must have been said at half time. He come out in the second half and was immaculate. So I think someone got to him and someone said to him. But I can't believe how lack of confidence it was and everything like that. As I said, Declan Rice, was he owes Declan a big drink or whatever, because he got him out of it got us all out of a pickle there,
Yeah.
I have to say, I don't know what's going to happen with it now.
If that goal went in, I think Arteta's subbing goalkeeper theory might have been, pushed to the limit.
Listen, I will say this in Ramsdale's defence. I've seen Raya punch one at Seville, and somehow it punched it back into his own goal, and thankfully it didn't go in, you know what I mean? I think both goalkeepers now have been very, very fortunate in getting away with mistakes. Raya got away with one at Manchester City. He got away with that one there. Aaron had all his luck on there. I'll tell you what, I actually, if I was Aaron, I'd be doing the lottery last night because he was very, very fortunate to get away with that. But in the second half, I think he showed a lot of guts. And I will give Mikel credit again. He come out and said that in the press conference. I know there was another one where he was a bit shady about it and all that, But he come out and said, courage and everything like that. Listen, Raya's going to come in on Wednesday. We know that, and maybe that was something to do with the decision that why he didn't play well. But that first half, when he miskicked that one off, oh God.
Well, people at the game, a lot of people were reporting on it, saying that Arteta was kind of on Ramsdale's case a lot about when to go long, when to go short, maybe a starting position. So there were other things. I don't know if that was picked up by you guys at the game. So I don't think this is just an error thing. I think there are real tactical instructions that I'm pretty sure Ramsdale's been on record before saying. He's done many interviews. I'm not throwing digs. I mean, I think he has done many interviews since joining Arsenal. I think one of them, he said, there are things I'm still learning that I struggle with that Arteta needs me to do and I can't do. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not misquoting him, apologies. And maybe Raya just does those things a bit better than him because the mistakes can happen, but Arteta doesn't really seem to punish mistakes for certain players. I think he's more focused on actually people following instruction rather than the errors they make and following them. So I don't know if that's part of it.
Maybe Jordan, you've been listening seriously through some of that. You've been laughing through some of that. I don't know.
Sorry, some of the comments. There's some real idiots that support Arsenal, but I love them. Arteta's killed him. I think Arteta's killed him. I think he's really, really killed him. As Lee said, the first half wasn't good, and I think it's a result of what he's made a mess of this. Now, I thought about this earlier on. I wanted Arteta at the club to come to Arsenal as a manager. This is obviously after Wenger as well. And I didn't want Mourinho. I didn't want Ancelotti. I wanted a young manager with new ideas, who was brave, a new energy, 20 plus years of Wenger. I was ready for a new type of young manager, new energy. And with that was innovative ideas. So when Mikel Arteta started talking about having two number ones and the whole, subbing keepers at half time, at first I was like, this is a bit weird. but I was prepared to go with it. I thought, okay, it's a bit weird to me, but I'm gonna like see how this goes now. The downside is that there are consequences. And I said at the time, if this doesn't work out, you're in danger not only losing one goalkeeper, you might lose two keepers if you really mess this up. And we're seeing now we haven't really got any goalkeeper on form. We've got two good goalkeepers, neither of whom are really particularly playing to their best, in my opinion. And all for the credit I give Mikel Arteta, this is one thing where I think he's got it wrong now, as James said earlier on as well, we're top of the league. So Arteta would say to me, shut up, Jordan Jarrett Bryan, we're top of the league. Like, what are you complaining about? But I really feel that this is the result of the way that Arteta has not communicated correctly or even lied to us about what his intentions are with the goalkeeper. Just before Aaron Ramsdale almost messed up and was saved by Declan Rice, there were two chances, there were two times he messed up as well. No one's flagged. Two times he almost messed up before that big mess up. And that says to me that he's just not very confident. He knows the pressure is on him to perform. Now, again, some may say you're an Arsenal #1. Pressure comes with it. Just deal with it and move on. But why would you want to put more pressure on someone that's under pressure already? And that's my fear and concern about what Arteta's done with Ramsdale. He got the clean sheet, and I'm so happy for him. I'm really happy for him.
Maybe about 8 weeks ago now, I said, listen, even if Ramsdale ain't happy come January, we need to keep him to the end of the season and sort it out then.
I agree.
I'm going to ask a question. Well, you agree then. James Lee, do you feel like this is something that needs to be sorted out in January now because of all the satellite stuff? To be honest, Ramsdale's losing value on the pitch and off the pitch right now because the way he's been supposedly treated and how he's feeling, other clubs know he's not happy. The way he's performing on the pitch, other clubs might be thinking, is he as good as we thought he was last couple of years? So he's losing value. And, you know, that was one of our assets. That was one of our big assets, in my opinion. Now all of a sudden, you know, 30 million that we paid for him, we're going to get that or thereabouts if we decide to sell, even come summer.
Yeah, I'll say two ways now. Like, you know, two things. I think it's got to be sorted, and a couple of reasons why. I don't know if it. One thing just before that game, it comes out that we're going to make the Raya deal permanent. I don't know if Brentford have released that because they might have wanted to put a little bit more pressure on the Ramsdale situation. Blah 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 blah. So
so
get at people like that.
Okay.
Two is that every time I watched the game yesterday, everybody's singing Aaron Ramsdale's name, even when he was messing up at the end, all coming over and singing his name there. Raya would be looking at that and going, well, I don't get that love. I don't get that sort of thing. I think there's a little bit of resentment. I don't know if resentment's the right word, but a lot of people feel it's unfair, so they're not really like loving Raya at this moment in time. So for me, I think for the best thing for Arsenal Football Club, not for the best thing for Aaron Ramsdale, not the best thing for Raya, make a decision, sell or loan one out, bring another goalkeeper in who you know is a number 2. And I don't care what anybody says. It's like Jorginho was left out yesterday. No one said nothing. The reason, and he's been playing really, really well, by the way. The reason that is because he knows he can come in next week, or it's a different position. It's a different kettle of fish to any other position, you know. So for me, I think you have to make a defining thing about it. And I think for the best thing of the club, and for us going forward, it needs to be resolved
in January or summer.
In January. No,
I think it will get resolved in January. You know what's strange, right? The Leno Ramsdale thing always gets brought up. You know, Arteta's done this before, and like we didn't really care as much. But why didn't we care as much? Because we actually all loved Leno. Like I think Leno was really loved by the Arsenal fan base. There's one point where people were arguing for him being the best goalkeeper in the league. He was that good. And then when he got injured by Mope, everyone thought, wow, you know, that's it. That's our season done. He saves us so much. Now, what we had was we had a little bit of a sobering moment when Martinez came in and was brilliant. And we kind of realized, well, there's a life beyond Leno. And then he came back and that affection maybe wasn't quite as strong. He made some mistakes trying to play the Arteta way. But when Ramsdale came in, we kind of just accepted it, even though there was a feeling of this feels a bit harsh on Leno. Like that 30 million could have gone somewhere else. And, you know, is he really that bad? They needed replacing. I think the big difference is when Ramsdale came in, we'd lost 3 games in a row at the start of the season. And so people were really open to change. Show me something different. Give me something else to get behind. Raya's come in as Arsenal have been on and up, massively on and up. Now, that might be the general perspective and perception of the fans. But Arteta's perception is probably, you've come in because the goalkeeper I had was part of us bottling the title. I'm not saying it's his fault, but he was part of it, and he's wanting to make changes that includes our style of play. So I'm trying to understand why, as a fan base, we are stomaching this one so much worse. And apart from Ramsdale so likable, Belena was likable. I don't know.
Are we the problem here, though? I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Disney.
Are we the problem as far as discussing this every single week?
Yeah, I think
is this are we part of the problem here? Because Turkish, you've asked us a few weeks now, a couple of times, who would start out of Ramsdale and Raya ahead of a game, and I'm not being disrespectful when I've answered by saying I don't care, because I don't see a big enough difference between the two to really care about who starts. Just keep clean sheets, do your job, win games, we're top of the league. Are we part of the problem here by, and I mean the fan base as a whole, by just talking about it every single week? Because how much does this really matter? Or do we have an affinity to Ramsdale, which is why we have sympathy with him?
I think parts of the fan base are always part of a problem. I'll be honest with you, especially like the wave of Generation Z, and by that I don't mean the people per se. So anyone born into that, I'm not saying every single person, but I mean the wave of protection. Feeding, following a player more so than the club in a sense. All of these things, and James, you answered your question at the end there. The reason is because Ramsdale's likable. Now listen, on the pitch, Ramsdale's my type of keeper in terms of his character. I don't mind him talking shit to fans. I don't mind him talking shit to players, laughing in their face when they miss a penalty and so on. I don't mind that. As long as you're doing your job, we're competing for titles and we're winning majors. But if Raya is the better keeper, I don't really care too much about character.
I'll challenge that though, because of the 3 years I've been working with you, you seem to have liked the players that really do the business. And I'm not saying Ramsdale hasn't. That are actually pretty experienced, calming figures. Like, I get what you mean about the shithousery that we love, but maybe a part of it is just Raya. He might make mistakes, but he's quite relaxed doing them. I know it sounds stupid, but there is something calm about him.
If you ask me, my favorite keeper of the Emirates era, prior to Aaron Ramsdale, my answer would have been Szczesny. Szczesny wasn't a great keeper, but he was a see you next Tuesday on the pitch. I remember a North London derby. He wiped out Gareth Bale. I don't mind that too much. At least that's something. That's a bit of passion. Maybe I'm a passion merchant, and Ramsdale's got a lot of passion, and I like that about him. Yeah. At the beginning, I didn't, because challenging for top 4 and that, don't be chatting shit to fans and to players if we're just challenging just for top 4, and that's not on him. Us challenging for top 4, but when you're challenging for title, and he was, for the majority of last season, a great keeper for us for the majority, but he did let us down at the end a couple of times, like James alluded to earlier. But that's why this one is more so spoken about than the Leno one, and he's English. I mean, the English tax doesn't just work on fees; the English tax works on we feel sorry for him kind of thing as well. Leno was German; no one really cared too much about him like that and how he felt. People all of a sudden, and then Ramsdale's dad come out. Leno's dad didn't come out and speak. All of this stuff makes he feels bad. But really and truly, come on, man, you're a professional goalkeeper. If you're not starting here, you're gonna move on. You're gonna play for a good enough club. Whatever. Like that's how I see it.
Can I just say something about the Leno situation? I know it's got nothing to do with him being German or whatever. He was lucky to still be at the club over Martinez, because that was not a goalkeeper. That was not a footballing decision. I don't know what Martinez was by far the better goalkeeper.
I don't agree, but yeah.
But that's my opinion. I still feel he is now. But with Leno, when Leno was left out, Ramsdale come in, and a lot of fans weren't really for him at that moment in time. But his performances blew that conversation out. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the debate. The thing that for me is that Raya's come in and he's not been breathtaking like that Ramsdale was. Now I don't know who's the better goalkeeper, if I'll be honest. I probably like But it must be a little bit easier for Raya, knowing that you've got the backing of the manager when you know that no, you haven't. When you play football, we've all played at football. If you know you've got a manager that rates you and everything like that, you're going to play better. The fact of the matter is, you've got Raya and Ramsdale. One knows that the manager rates him.
That's the problem. That's the problem, Lee. You've nailed it. For me, I don't have a problem with Raya coming in. Mikel Arteta is entitled to bring in David Raya and do what he wants. Where Arteta, for me, messed up was he lied to everybody. And I think it looks like he lied to Ramsdale. If he'd have said, I'm bringing in Raya and you've got to fight it out. I don't care who starts. You guys impress me. And whoever impresses me keeps a shirt. Then cool. And to my point on the last podcast about motivation, you've then got two keepers motivated because they know if they play well, they're going to start. Ramsdale knows he's been lied to. So when he plays against Brentford on the weekend, he knows whatever I do today, I'm not starting in the next game. So what's my motivation? What's the motivation? Arteta's messed this up. He just say to everybody, I've got two top keepers. The best one plays. Simple. But what he did was
caused this, yeah.
Sorry?
Arteta caused this.
Yeah, what he did was he made some bullshit lie about I need two keepers for different things, and just be honest and be real and say Raya's my guy. It's not personal against Ramsdale. Raya's my guy.
That wouldn't have gone down well. Like, come on, let's be real. That would never have gone down well. Imagine Arteta sat there and went, "I've signed him because I think he might be better than Ramsdale."
What's wrong with that?
Oh, come on. You know the uproar. People are going, how could you say that? He's done so well. Why would you say that so publicly about him? Blah, blah. He's got to, even if behind the scenes that's not the case. The bit I disagree, the bit I don't like is if he never pulled Ramsdale aside, which is what they're being accused of, he's been accused of. If he never pulled Ramsdale aside to at least explain where he's falling short, I think that's not good enough. Publicly, I understand that he's kind of got to sell a little bit of a lie to kind of, pour cold water on the story. So I can't. Arteta just signed a goalkeeper he thought was better. Like, that's all it is.
Then just say that. Then
this is the thing. This is the thing, right? You can't say this about the number one goalkeeper. But didn't Mikel Arteta tell you yesterday that Jesus is in front of Eddie by playing him in that game? This is what I'm saying. It's completely different with outfield players than it is a goalkeeper. I don't know why it ain't. Like, to me yesterday, Eddie's come in and done okay in the last game. Jesus ain't played for 4 or 5 games. He's back straight in front of him. That's telling me, that Jesus is my preferred choice over Eddie. So it's just that with the goalkeeping thing, it's a completely different thing, I think. It's unprecedented. I have to say that, you know what I mean? But I also think, I don't care if you're an elite striker, forward or elite player. If the manager doesn't rate you, you're not going to play well. Simple as that. Because your confidence ain't going to be there. You know that if you make a mistake, you're going to be left out. If you was it's the same with us. Right, you're doing a show, right, and Robbie's watching you, and he goes, right, if you make a mistake on the mic and you stutter and make a mistake, you're out. What are you
I'll be out of here a long time ago, mate.
Well, exactly. But he loves you, so he's going to let you off. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day,
It's true.
So it's the same with anything, in any walk of life. Football is a little bit tougher for whatever reason, but at the end of the day, look, for me, the decision's made now. On Wednesday, Raya will be back in, and that's it. The one thing is that I will praise Ramsdale about yesterday, his professionalism. You know what I mean? He got on with the job. He knows he ain't going to play on Wednesday, but still, when he made those mistakes, you could see he was visibly upset with it. He wants to do well for Arsenal. And that's it, So we move on. And Raya's the number one now.
That's probably that for the conversation too, if I'm honest. Until Ramsdale's sold, or if his cousin comes to do a podcast as well one day, we'll call it a day on that on this topic, because Raya is the number one.
Yeah.
I know all of us are probably tired of speaking about it. I can sense that already. Some of the chat is tired of hearing about it. And to be honest, it is what it is now. Raya's the number one, and we move, and hopefully we move on to win the league. more importantly. Jordan's taking a little break. While he does that, I'm going to get in some super chats. And while I do that, people, hit the like button because we've just passed 500, close to 600, but we should be on 1,000. There's 3.2k in the building. Usually by now in the big six, coming up to an hour in, we've hit 1,000. I know this is Forever Arsenal, but make it happen, people, because we're bringing you more Forever Arsenal lives this season. This is our third one, I believe. I think that trumps all other seasons combined, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to continue bringing them live as well. And in between, we'll be doing the regular shows. And we have some other content planned here and there between the four of us. So make sure you look out for that. Subscribe, put the notification bell on. And let me get into the super chats. And I'm going to do it in order. I was going to work backwards, but I want to get this one in first. HCW says, big up the panel. Love always, fellas. Jordan, get an effing AirPod, mate. Each time you scratch your beard, move, I have to take my AirPod out.
Sorry, bro.
Hey, HCW, I've told this guy as well about these wires and his beard and that, but he doesn't listen. What can I do?
The audio quality on the wired mic, on the wired things are better than the AirPods. That's why
that is true. I actually second that. You're right.
The audio
quality audio ain't great, and then Bluetooth jumps in and out. It's a bit of a mess. I hear you. I'm gonna go retro and go back to these wired headphones. I'm starting a movement.
You make all that noise as well.
No, just for like my day-to-day walking with like music in my ears, but still.
Yeah, he hasn't got a beard as well, so if he did,
I'm moving on to that. But
this is actually my Movember attempt, guys.
That said my Movember.
That's good as Ramsdale's throw.
Back to the super chats, people. Apologies. I can't. You know what? Let me see what happens if I put them on screen. I'm going to work backwards in terms of the conversation we've been having. So I'm going to get the Ramsdale rail. Actually, there's only one. Big up Elisa. You see, it just covers James and Lee, but I don't. That's
I'm
all right with that.
Yeah. Elisa says, and big up Elisa, man. I hope you're well. Ramsdale doesn't have the temperament to play the way Arteta wants. Second half distribution was mostly long, hence him looking better. Ramsdale's ADHD was in full flow during the run in last season, not new.
Don't know about that.
The only person I heard that wanted a new keeper was Chris Hudson all summer, but he got his wish, and here we are. Let me get in the next super chat. What was the conversation? Oh yeah, Havertz. We got a few on this one. Cesar says, do you think Havertz's slow start is a result of our style this season? In other words, if we signed Havertz prior to last season, would he have cooked as well as Xhaka? Short but sweet, no for me. He's just lost it. You know, in the international break, I watched a clip of Havertz on Twitter. It was doing the round, so I'm sure James probably saw it too, if not others. And I was just watching the clips from Bayer Leverkusen, and I was thinking, where is this guy gone? Where is he gone? And I know the league's easier, I know that, but that's got nothing to do with how he moved on the ball. He's just not the same player. So yeah, I don't think it would have. Do any of you think?
What do you take from that, Turkish? Do you take the
Premier League's got to him?
Right. Well, the other thing is there's something in there. But I'm not saying that I'm more that. I don't know what I think.
I ain't waiting 5 years that we did for Xhaka anyway. So that's just my thing on it. Thank you for the super chat, Cesar. Does anyone else think he would have done better? Well, it's a bit of a weird question because
I don't know how you answer that.
It's hard to look back and.
I think every chance he got wouldn't have felt like his only chance in the game last season. And I know he has had multiple in one game, but I think there is a pressure on every Arsenal player to put away what chance they get this season. Last season, it just felt like we would go time after time after time. We'd be relentless with our attacks, and maybe you'd have seen something different there. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, the other thing is, I don't think we've scored in the first 15 minutes of any game this season, have we? We was blasting teams away after 10, 15 minutes of games last season. So that gives you the confidence when you're 1 or 2-0 up. Huh?
I think Champions League we have.
Yeah, we played really well in the Champions League because of it, I suppose. But I think that if we'd have been 1 or 2-0 up, blowing teams away, then little spaces open up, and maybe Havertz would have done a lot better. But we've just been more controlling, haven't we, with our play? So
that's the key word this season: controlling. Elisa, again, or earlier said, without Havertz, no Community Shield win, no Man City win, no Brentford win. 13 games in, he's given you 4 points and pre-season bragging rights. Put some respect on his name. Push him forward. He's another solution to win. Elisa, you know what it is, Elisa, yeah? Our thing is, we think I'm talking about me and Jordan there, because I pretty much, sure Jordan agrees with me, but we would have spent the 65 million on another player who potentially wins us those games too. But your argument will be, listen, we've won a lot of games, we're top of the league, we're about to go through in the Champions League, which we should finish top, and albeit out of the Carabao Cup, which is not something I'm going to lose sleep about. Everything looks good on paper at the moment. It's just when we watch us, there is a problem there in terms of creating chances that I hope doesn't become a bigger problem later on this season, because if it does become a bigger problem, Havertz is going to be more in the limelight then than he is now, because now we're top of the league. Now we're going through the Champions League first. If creating chances becomes a bigger problem come February, March, April, then we're going to not only be looking at Odegaard, maybe Saka, Martinelli, we're going to be looking at the 65 million signing that come in the number 8 position. So, he does need to kick on from this, and hopefully, these fluidity, if they are issues, they're not issues that cause any problems come May. Jasper says Havertz isn't going anywhere. Did you see how Arteta celebrated with him after the game? He will stick with him to death. We did. We've already talked about it though, Jasper, so I'm sure you've heard our conversation on that. Conrad says, I think Jesus and Nketiah aren't the be-all and end-all for us as striking options. However much I want them to do well. Is Tony the striker we need? Big up to you guys and Jordan.
Have you seen the Osman
list? Wow.
It said, yeah, James Osterman. Yeah. Well, what is that?
Right. So there have been some reports that Chelsea and Arsenal are the ones looking at him. He's going to have a decision to make. Now, I know that people don't like to reel out the ITKs, but there are two that have been pretty spot on with everything. And actually, I'll even go as far as to name them if you want to see the tweet. So a guy who actually, let me get their actual handles, but a guy who goes by the name of
Ozil or something.
No, it was Team News and Ticks confirmed what a guy called Mo Arsenal said, that we were looking at him, and they've been pretty spot on. Like, he called things like Bukayo Saka not starting in the City game, where all the reports are saying that he was in contention. There was other stuff around Timber's injury or whatever, but like, it's not just that. Like, it's actually, there's been other reports, I think, maybe in the last month or whatever. I listen, that's very exciting. It's not a January one, but I think it's like the Partey one that dragged on over a summer, like Declan Rice, where there was a lot of build up, like Jesus, where we first heard about it in, I think, end of March, beginning of April, before he became an Arsenal player, early July. I think it's like a slow burner that's going to build and build if we get that player over the line. I'd love Osimhen personally.
Shannon says, today's Osimhen links have me praying our coffers are full in January. I assume you don't mean January though, James, right? You probably mean summer.
The report said something like he is Arsenal. Like, Arsenal are waiting to see what his decision is in terms of where he moves and when he moves, and that Arsenal won't pursue another striker target until. That's what they are saying. So
I'd be stunned, and I've felt this for a while, if Arsenal buy a striker in January. They're not going to sign Tony.
I would be too.
And I don't think they should sign Tony. I don't want Tony anymore. I think they're going to wait until the summer and go big. I don't know what go big looks like, but I'd be shocked if they bought a striker in the summer.
So Osimhen apparently only has a year left on his deal. Is that true? Is that come the summer he'll only have a year left?
Mbappe's free. Forget a year left. He's free, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It wouldn't fit our system, Turkish.
Oh, fuck the system. Mbappe's the system, bro. What? Imagine the 14 on Mbappe. Would sell out. It would be a record-breaking shirt sales, bro. Kroenkes would love that. They would love that. Oh my god, my whole family would be in Mbappe shirts. I'll tell you that, because a Champions League would come with such a signing. But let's not dream.
Osimhen this summer would have a year left on his contract, so listen, he might still cost you 100+ million, but you're not spending 150 or so on the guy with a year left.
Let's move. AJ says, I love Ramsdale, but his concentration levels are that of my 5-year-old son. If he can sort that out, he could be as good as Edison and Allison. Still young. Time
Ellison had a nightmare yesterday. He had a nightmare.
Are people just jumping on his concentration thing because he's revealed it? Are people just saying that now because he's revealed it? Were people saying 6 weeks ago his concentration levels aren't great?
So.
Well, they said, were they?
I think it was brought up. I remember when he saw a pigeon and we conceded against Southampton. I mean, I shouldn't laugh. I
actually say that was
that created a bit of a discussion.
Yeah.
In fairness, I mean, the pigeon was really close.
Yeah.
But,
you went not easy, man. Oh, shit. I said the pigeon, you know. The pigeon killed our title hopes. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no.
What's the title because of a pigeon? On the pitch of St Mary.
Oh, man.
That was 2 points dropped. City would have been out of sight by then. They'd have given up.
Dino says, Saka clutch again. Great players win you games. Saka is moving in silence, not star boy. He's maestro man now. Rice and Saliba defensive IQ on Makalele levels. Listen, Makalele is an OG, my bro. He's an OG, so we can only hope and pray that they live up to someone like that. And Saka, he is moving in silence, but that's probably another way to say Saka's been poor this season, but he's still getting the numbers up. I think that is another way to say it.
Saka's interesting because I don't think he was particularly that good either. But it's another game where what was the game a month ago where he was poor, but he got an assist.
Chelsea.
A big assist. Chelsea, that was it.
That
was it, yeah. That's right.
And we got another one from Dino saying, Lee is right, 100% he won us the game. Why we focus on the past is irrelevant. He did his job today. Tip your hat off to him and push 7 out of 10. That one's about.
Well said.
Dead comments.
Last one I got here before we move on from mine saying, brilliant show, guys. Agree or disagree, always here. Turk, how can we be fluid when teams drop deep? Seem to realize how good we are with space, bro. Don't be disingenuous. Not every team has dropped off us this season. There's been games. I'll give Tottenham as one example, and we wasn't great in that one transitionally as well. And Tottenham didn't drop off us, and other teams too. I remember. I don't even think Bournemouth dropped off us. I know we won 4-0 in the end, but
no, they played.
But I think it was what was the Bournemouth on 2 penalties and a free kick. I forgot what it was. It was just one open play goal basically. So we've had fluidity issues all season, but. That's it for the super chats. I've got a few more here. I'll save them for the end before comments of the day. Still 3.2k here. Jordan's got his hands up. Let me check how many likes we got. Only 750. So really and truly, people, scroll down. 250 of you. Hit the like button.
Come on.
Jordan.
Can I just flag up very briefly a couple of extra points on this game before we kind of move on? I thought the Eddie Nketiah thing you referred to earlier on, I thought that was awful play. I was so angry. That got me more angry than anything else. It was so bad. I'm with you as far as I don't mind him shooting, but it was such a tame shot. And when you got, I think it was a 3-on-1 or was it 4-on-2? It was 4-on-2. Yeah, and I just thought it was so poor. That got me mad. Got to flag that. The crossing in this game, ironically, before Saka did was awful. Our crossing was really bad in this match. And it's ironic as well because we've got the best record from goals from set pieces this season in the league. But I thought our delivery into the box, Odegaard, Zinchenko, Saka, Martinelli, it was awful all game. And then a bit of praise I want to give to 3 of the back 4. Gabriel and Saliba didn't have a lot to do, but I liked how they dovetailed Gabriel and Saliba. Like when one had to handle business, the other backed up really well. And I thought Tomiyasu was really, really good. And because we're not overlapping much in games anymore, I wonder if Tomiyasu's defensive abilities are what is going to keep Ben White out of the team. Because Ben White and Saka's link up is different this year. It's not like it was last year. So I wonder if you might as well just go for the better defensive right back, which I would argue Tomiyasu just edges Ben White in that sense. I thought Tomiyasu was impressive as well.
I think that's a great point. That actually, if you're not going to, again, I wasn't that impressed with Tomiyasu in terms of an attacking threat, but you're right.
No.
He's even asked to be. So how can I get mad at him for just following instruction, or at least what appears to be instruction? Devel mentions Zinchenko. Shannon's also said, can you mention Zinchenko?
I thought he was brilliant.
He was second to Rice for me as man.
Really? Oh, we did watch
Jordan, I
different
don't know what
games.
you watch sometimes.
We watched different games.
I thought he
We
won
watched
all
different
his
games.
headers, defensively really sound, so neat on the ball. There was one bit of skill where he took a ball out of the air with his thigh, and then in the same movement flicked it into, I think, Rice in midfield, or whoever it was. I thought Zinchenko was
Yeah,
brilliant.
I thought he was as well,
He
John.
was class.
I think it was good. I'm more with Jordan again. He's definitely not poor, but I think he was very, very good. He was good, and I can see a lot of the chat saying things like he made us tick and all that. We wasn't ticking again.
No, I don't even think that. Like, he was neat on the ball. I thought defensively he was immaculate. Won loads of his headers, won the ball up the pitch often, sustained a bit of pressure. Really assured in everything he did. Played out the back really calmly. I thought he was great, really great.
It's not for now, but do we have to have an Odegaard chat soon?
Oh, I'm going to leave that till Wednesday.
I ain't got time for that right now.
Okay. All right.
First game after injury,
Yeah,
I agree.
first game back. Let it ride. Let it
There's a
ride.
patch of form, but
We did say that about a month ago, by the way. But anyway, okay, let's move. Let's move.
he's missed on football. But
He needs
like
to
I
up
said,
his game.
As you saw earlier, Jamie said Tommy's insane, by the way, and that's who we just discussed. Keithy D says, watching you guys tonight, icing on the cake. Mine says, do you not think we're slow because we're taking calculated risks? Maybe the statistics say that, but who knows? An AFTV holding should fund Mbappe wages, says Cesar. I'll speak to Robbie. Let's move. Lons, Champions League, Wednesday night. They beat us away 2-1. We've bounced back since, beat Sevilla home and away. We sit top of the table. A win guarantees us top spot in the group. And it should be a win. I mean, there's not really much to discuss other than lineup, if I'm honest. I mean, who starts, who doesn't start? Do we go as strong as possible? Because I do think against Brentford, Arteta's team selection was as strong as possible without Partey and Timber. I think, I wouldn't have picked a different team myself with Trossard next to Odegaard. I know it didn't work in the end, but, it worked under the win, but...
Can I go first, Turkish? Because just on your question there, and someone's put in the chat, what about Trossard in the midfield again? I didn't think... I was interested to see that he started in the 8 rogues. Lots of people, I think you guys have been saying that we should try Trossard in the middle. I haven't. I don't think that's where he can play well. He didn't play well on the weekend, but I would do it again. I would give him another game in the 8 role. And try it, because no one's grabbed it, so you might as well give him a few games to see if he can answer that. I don't think that's where he's, but I think he's better wide. I just don't think he's good in the middle, but I would go with Trossard again in the middle, which means where do you play Havertz? If we all agree Havertz should start the next game, James doesn't agree. Okay,
no, it's like I said, he's had actually notable impacts off the bench. Keep doing that until, not to reopen that debate, but until we are seeing 20 minutes of magic, like he's coming on and you're thinking, wow, fair play. And when I say magic, it's not unattainable. I'm talking what Vieira did against Fulham, and that earned him a few starts. I'm talking coming on, twisting past a few players, underlapping runs, winning a penalty, world-class assist for Eddie Nketiah. I'm talking that kind of thing. He hasn't built on it as much, admittedly. But until we start seeing that, then you start going, wow, is he really, he's earning that place in that team, isn't he? He did well. He got his goal. But I agree with you. Like, he put Trossard there for a reason. He could have started Jorginho and Rice in there. What are you laughing at?
Just one of the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're all waiting for it. One sugar, please.
Oh, that's Steve's comment. Sure, yeah. No, fair enough. No, anyway, as I was saying before I got distracted, he's picked Trossard for this game for a reason, which is surely not just a one-off tactical thing, right? He didn't just suddenly think, Brentford away, first game after the international break. I've had 3 days with the players, not even, probably 2. This is the game to do it. It must have been, it must be something that he's thinking about a bit more long-term. So yeah, give it another game. Home against Lons is probably a good time to do it.
I'm gonna put one out here. I reckon Martinelli might be left out Wednesday. I think like those 2 games on for Brazil might have took a little bit of a toll on him. Like, I thought he looked very leggy in that game. Like, I didn't think he was quite at it. So I'd give him a break. play Trossard out on the left, Jesus down the middle. Havertz has to start for me. Has to start after what
That's
he's
fair
done.
on Martinelli, though. I'd agree with that. I think that's fair because I forget he played the majority, if not all, of that Brazil game. I can't remember. He should have scored, to be honest. But
yeah, he played in both games. Just didn't look quite at his energetic best. You know what I mean? I just felt he wasn't quite at it, like, you know. So, and I think that we've got some massive games coming up as well. So I just think that there will be a little bit of rotation in the squad, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Martinelli doesn't play in this game.
Saka and Rice?
Definitely them two. I think Jorginho might come back into this game as well, guys. I think that, you know, it might be. I don't think he's done anything wrong really to be left out. So I think he might come in after. I just think there'd be one or two in the next few weeks now, just tinkered a little bit like, and I think starting off with Martinelli.
so what is everyone bar James saying Havertz to start?
I've actually changed my mind. James has made a really good point. I think
James is right.
Has he earned the right to start?
James is right, but the way I look at it is a bit different. I feel like, and James can stop me, but I feel like James is saying that because he's kind of sure that if he does start, he ain't going to perform again, and we're going to go and For me, it's more like, fucking hell, we paid 65 million for him. If his confidence ain't up after that goal, then don't put him back on the bench. Ride that wave of confidence.
Yeah,
confidence in December or in January, because I'm tired of people saying confidence. But I don't want to reopen the debate.
But if you start him, where do you start him?
I don't care. Wherever you want to start him, Mikel, start him. Just let him. Just make sure he performs. Just do something, please. Listen to me. But yeah, any other debate?
I think it's player wise.
Ben White back in.
Maybe, yeah.
For me, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I think we need a run. I think we need a run of wins now. So I think we should go relatively strong. I think we've got to set a standard. And as we go into the Christmas period, I think it would be nice to kind of have a run. Do you know what I mean? A run of wins now, sort of thing. So I'd go relatively strong.
Need to sort it out. So PSV's basically a rotated side because our December fixture list is mad. Sorry, James.
Some calls for Kivior, which is a shout, just to give him some minutes because I've always liked him when he's come in. Yeah, we're now entering territory from an hour ago, but I would start Ramsdale. It is sentiment based, but he deserves Champions League football in front of the Emirates crowd. Like, come on. I'd be amazed if we have a bad result against Lens, and at the end of it, we're saying it's because of Ramsdale. Even if he makes a mistake and throws in the back of our own net, we're sitting there going, so what, you couldn't score more than one goal against Lens, with all due respect. Just give him the minutes, man. Just give it, and it is sentimental. I agree. Like, football's ruthless. I understand. Cool. I get it. That's why I'm not a coach and will never be. But I would just give Rams. I think he deserves that.
Yeah, I don't think he will. But if we win the game, then PSV he should get that one because we'll be top of the group and guaranteed. So I don't really mind which way it happens. But we might have seen the last game for Ramsdale and Arsenal shirt. We may not have. We'll find out. Like I said.
Sorry, Turkish classic example. Sam says, James, the last time Ramsdale started in a European competition at home, he got lobbed from the halfway line. Sam, that did happen. You're right. Questions over his positioning, sure. My biggest takeaway from that game and all the discussion after was how in, 180 plus extra time minutes against Sporting did we only manage the 3 goals, only 1 at home, not find a winner after that. The goal came quite early. This is my point. Like, we're really going to give him the start because I don't see him being so calamitous that it actually costs us the game in a way that I'm not looking at the team more so.
No, yeah, and Raya did have a say in costing us that last game. If I'm not mistaken, the last time.
Exactly.
One super chat here from Brito saying, I know we're winning, but Arteta's style of managing players gives me this feeling that kills my excitement about Arsenal. Annoying. I would be livid if Carnu got treated like Ramsdale. I became a gunner because of Carnu. Roles, responsibilities, I guess. That's also the thing that, when I mentioned, player protection and wanted, we had quality players on the bench, in those days. And those quality players knew they was quality, but they knew the players in front of them were of a higher quality more often than not. And they played their role. If that team was in this day and age, then, someone like Sylvain Wiltord, who was so important for us and had great moments, one of the greatest at Old Trafford, he'd have, thousands, millions of fans saying he needs to start week in, week out. If Henry doesn't score in a couple of games, he needs to be dropped and stuff like that. So really and truly, yeah, we'll keep it moving and go into the prediction side of things, because the show is kind of getting to an hour and a half, and we still got to do comments of the day. So there is the prediction table for the week.
Oh, look at that. There's been movement.
There has. Jordan,
There's been movement, Jordan.
You mind moving this way a little bit so we can see your full, because, how rude. How rude. Don't blame me if you ain't got your tea yet or coffee or whatever you ordered.
Yeah, actually, on that
Yeah.
Sorry, what happened here? Did Lee go 1-0?
Nah, 2-0.
2-0.
I can't remember where everyone went. Well, who didn't predict to win?
Jordan.
Oh, Jordan.
So
you boys went 2-1, didn't really? It could have been 2-0 if it weren't for that harsh offside. I'm lucky again, wasn't I? So there you go. We move. We'll take the point and move on, apart from Jordan.
yeah. Audio listeners, an update to the prediction table: 20 games played, 20 predictions made all round. Lee's top, 2 correct scores, 15 points. I'm in second, 2 correct scores, 13 points. James and Jordan are actually tied in third, 1 correct score, 13 points each, but James is just ahead because his name, the second letter, is an A and Jordan's is an O. So he's a loser there too. Alphabetically, what can we do?
Obviously.
Predictions. Lee, top of the league.
Tough one, isn't it? Tough one, this. 3-0.
3-0. I'm going to go 3-1. James?
Well, I was going to go 3-0, but I got to catch Lee. 4-0.
4-0, confident of a clean sheet. And Jordan?
1-1.
What was yours, Turkish?
3-1.
3-1. Okay. 2-0.
2-0. So for the predictions, we've gone for 3-0 from Lee.
Lons, 2 Lons.
What?
No, I'm joking.
Bro, I don't know with you, bro. I don't know. So
It's true.
Lons for no reason.
It's all mad. I've heard
I'm away. I'm surprised you ain't asked that.
I mean, it's yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Cool. Just to
They
round
were
off.
very decent over there, by the way. Very impressed with them. I was very impressed.
Your time to say that
Played
was
very well against us.
You're cutting me off while I'm doing the table.
Yeah, we reacted to that
true.
game in September, mate.
Yeah,
October, whenever it was.
Yeah, we're just saying,
Yeah, no. Good team.
Can I read out the predictions for the audio listeners one more time? Is that all right with you, or should we just fob them off and just call it a day?
I want to know why there's a narrative been running throughout this whole show, okay? And I've left it. I've let the comments just do their thing. But
So go on, James. Say it, James. Go on. Say it.
But sorry, James looks like he's sitting on the bog. I mean, what kind of fancy bathroom do you think I have? Some books.
Right.
This is the front. That's Highbury. See? Yeah.
Hey, this chat, let me read it out from Amma. It says Turkish looks like he broke into an Arsenal shop. Jordan looks like he's renting a room from that nice lady. James looks like he's sitting on the bed. And Lee's chilling at his local supplier's crib. Oh my god. And I'm looking around, to be honest, they've got a fucking spot on.
How on the bog? What part of this?
I don't know, man. When you said it and I looked, I don't want to envision it too much.
You said it and I looked.
I just looked at you and I thought, yeah, you could be sitting on the toilet, yeah.
What is it? The camera angle? If I were more up like this,
Looking down on you.
Is the fact that I sort of look like I'm sort of
Get the paper out, that's all.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the feedback. I'll work on my set.
What's this? All right, so wait, let me just round off the prediction quickly and then get the prediction table off the screen. Lee's gone 3-0, James has gone 4-0, Jordan's gone 2-0, I've gone 3-1. So all wins predicted at home to Lons Wednesday night. Let us know your prediction as well, people. and we'll keep it moving. There is a super chat here mentioning the Big Six, but it's nothing I can really do at the moment, people. We are live right now, so that's something that I'll probably have to sort out after the stream. But thanks for the heads up. Appreciate that. I did see it in the chat earlier. I haven't checked anything. I'll check in that 5 minutes because we're nearly done. Cesar says, James, terrible posture exposed on that reflection.
Yeah, yeah, it's true because I should be more like this. But how crap is that? I'm miles away. Look at the size of everyone else.
So we're
It's
saying
true.
we should go back.
So I've got to lean.
That's why I keep going back.
Right. Okay. So can we all agree? Right. There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
Go on, Lee.
That line.
Lee ain't got the room there to maneuver, so I'm gonna have to stick.
Loads of room back here. I can't do it. I'm shattered. I'm still on Dubai time here. Like, you know what I mean? It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know.
I thought James was
in the
going to say in the comments there's been a theme where people have been commenting on how zoned out you look, Lee. You do look knackered, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm weird. It's really weird because I'm getting up early and like, you know, wanting to go to bed early. Like, it's weird, but there you go.
Are you man ready? Live show for the day.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Nice to see. Nice to see.
I want to start because these are nice ones, and actually, we should end on a laugh. And I'm sure some of you have some funny ones. A lot of love for Jordan. Big up Jordan doing the interviews for Channel 4 this week for the internationals. I knew I recognised that voice. Confirmed it was you when it was the interview with Kane. So people seeing you out there doing great stuff. And there was
love for the love
from R. Clayton 674, and then $1 Million Gaming, I think is his name, said, I watched the BBC documentary with Anthony Joshua. Just want to say big up to Jordan and see he's doing big things. Yeah. Is that I missed that, so congratulations.
Yeah. Cheers. Yeah.
There you go. Lots of people seeing you out there doing great stuff.
But this is the big show. This is the one that really
Shame you can't repeat it on here.
This is the main show for me. This is the one where I really make my mark, where I get respected, rated. This is, you know, I forget Channel 4.
You're
BBC.
like that player. You're like that player who goes on international break and balls out for like Uruguay, and then like it comes back to us, and we're like, just show us that.
I'm the McTominay. I'm the McTominay, aren't I?
That's the one. I knew there was one. You're McTominay. You're scoring hat tricks for Scotland. I give it away pens for us.
Let me get mine in next, because mine's also a funny one. But Jason Smith says, watching these 4 play a Football Manager save would be hilarious. Turkish telling his defenders to break ankles. Lee never straying from the 4-4-2. James inverting everybody on the pitch, and Jordan. I like those ones.
Thanks. And Jordan.
Drop your and Jordans here, people, in the comments. I want to hear your and Jordans.
Absolute wankers, all these. I'll go next then before Lee falls asleep. I've just got the one from Ricardo Divs. Sorry, I got that wrong, my friend. It's got love the show, guys. I still don't understand why Jordan gets so much stick. To be fair, I've only watched his highlights.
That's a good one still. That's a good one.
I like those creative ones. Very good.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
I've gone for Harbert Wilson. Lee, don't worry about Julian, mate. There is only one Lee. The only other Lee is Bruce Lee, and he's with us no more. You're a living legend. Big up to the team. And so I would like to thank everybody that did go over onto the Invincibles and slag off Julian. So thanks for doing that for me. I appreciate it.
What people don't know is he loves it.
He likes it.
Yeah, he's in the car yesterday going, I loved it. Like, you know, he said there was one person that wanted to use my head as a bowling ball. No, I loved it.
You're telling people to let me not even get into it, but Julian loves it. People don't go and give him abuse. God knows what he's doing with it all. And on that note, we'll call it a day. Only James caught on there. All right, hit the like button, people. Get up to 1,000 likes. It's Lons at the Emirates Wednesday night, and we will be back Thursday at some point before our Premier League fixture against Wolves. Go on, Jordan. Man.
Finally, just let the viewers know I'm going to be away for a couple of shows. So those that don't like me, the next couple of shows is going to be heaven for you guys. I don't know who the replacement's going to be. It might be Sharoy, it might be Curtis, it might be Dan Potts. Whoever it is will do a good job, I'm sure. But I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Love you all. Really, I do. I love you. I love you. Honestly, I love you.
They're probably going to see you on the next one.
Just want to say that 2 minutes ago, oh, this is the main one for me, like main show. Like, I won't be here for a couple of weeks. See you later, like, you know.
Just let them know.
No one's going to interrupt me for the next couple of episodes. Perfect.
Sorry.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Jordan, enjoy. Take care of yourself. You're back when you're back. Lee, James, I'll see you guys this week. People, Fourever Arsenal's back Thursday, but there'll be a lot of content in between that and a big game on Wednesday as well. Make sure you're subscribed, notification bell on, hit the like button. Love for the love. We're at people. Peace.